everybody. I am in Cadiz, Kentucky. I am at Pals Auto Repair in Cadiz, Kentucky, and that is where we had the new transmission built that we spent $5 grand on back in January or February. Well, I think it was early January that we got it back. We took our truck in before Thanksgiving and we got it in January. And then Stephen thought that something was wrong with the transmission, so we brought it back, and it's been a couple of weeks since we brought it back, and I came down here to check on it, and he admitted that he lost our phone number. The man here, Mr. Powell, had lost our phone number. He said he's been looked at it for a couple of weeks. So it's been sitting. So here I am. That's the trusty, faithful 150. That's a 2001 150, and so that's a 25-year-old truck that we've had that since 2005. So we've had it for 21 years. That's taken us to California and back. We've had this vehicle since July the 1st of 2020. This vehicle we got in January of 2005. And it's an 01, so 21 years this has been our faithful ride. And then July 1st of 2020 is when we got this one. We went to eastern Kentucky, Hazard, Kentucky, which ironically, Hazard, Kentucky is not very far from Pine Ridge, Kentucky, which is where AJ's at now in Pine Ridge, Kentucky. So we pass by all the signage for Hazard, Kentucky when we go see AJ in Pine Ridge. And that is where we acquired this truck. And so July it will be 6 years. And we just dropped $5 grand on it for the transmission. And like I said, Stephen thought that it was that the transmission was not working right. Got the discouraging news that it has nothing to do with the rebuilt transmission. He said it was a cam sensor on the engine. And the reason why I even came by to check on it is because it is a farm plate. And at least locally, farm plates are due in March. Stephen and I both have July birthdays. We both have July birthdays, but when it comes to farm plates, at least in Kentucky, I don't know about where you are, but at least in Kentucky, farm tags are due in March. And today is March the 26th, so I had to come and put my new sticker on it. See, I gotta put my new sticker on it, and then also I wanted to make sure I had our new insurance card in it for our insurance. Proof of insurance. So proof of insurance and registration. So I brought it by to take care of those things. So this is very discouraging. So not only the Freightliner, but now cam sensor on the engine. I tried calling Stephen when I was down here talking to Tommy Powell. I tried calling him, but Stephen's not available right now. He was in Chillicothe, Missouri a couple hours ago. I think Stephen's going to be home tonight. I know this is the first day of MATS. I do realize that in Louisville today is the first day of MATS, and so obviously Stephen is not there for opening day for MATS, obviously. And that's our original channel name. In 2020, when we started our YouTube in 2020, that was our original channel name. And we had these nice little decals made. We still have lots of them left over. Lots and lots of these decals somewhere left over. But we've had several name changes. But we kept the big belly. So actually, if you have noticed that our YouTube handle is Big Belly Rebuilds, it's not Big Belly and Son Trucking. When you see, when I answer your comments on YouTube, maybe you never paid attention. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But when you make a comment and I answer back, it doesn't say Big Belly and Son Trucking. It says Big Belly Rebuilds, because that was the original name of our channel. So in case you were ever wondering why your comments are not answered by Big Belly and Son, we didn't change our address on YouTube. So yes, this is extremely discouraging. Wow. All right, so I got my new insurance card put in here. Always make sure you keep your insurance and your registration. So now I got this paid up till March the 31st, a year from now. So make sure that you always put your stuff in the glove compartment. So it's our lovely, spacious double cab that we just love, this 350. Very, very spacious. It's a 1996. And it is very spacious. And that's the year I graduated from high school. It's 1996. So, I've been out of high school for 30 years, if y'all can believe that. 1996. This is the year 96, and I graduated from high school in 96. So, I'm an old woman. Be 48 in July. So, I got my new March of 27 decal on. So, Steven doesn't know yet. I tried calling him, so he does not know that it is the cam sensor on the engine. So you all, when it rains, it pours. I don't know how much this cost. I have no idea. But we just dropped a whole bunch of money. It could have been worse Steven did not have to end up rebuilding the motor of the 6NZ cat motor of the Freightliner. It was the water pump, but just all the lost wages, of him not being able to deliver those Malibu boats in Canby, Oregon, and having to have somebody else from Tim Gentry's team to come get the boats to take them to Oregon. So lost wages, downtime, the cost of the water pump and the Freightliner, and just a whole lot of other stuff going on financially with us. He hasn't had a lot of work since Christmas, and if you know, you know he's been sick for a month. He's been home for health issues. Today is March the 26th, in case I forgot to say that. Today is March the 26th, so when I looked at yesterday, it was 3 months since Christmas. So he's been home roughly 2 months out of the 3 months since Christmas. Y'all, it's been 3 months since Christmas, if you all can believe that. So it's very, very discouraging. So, I think Steven's going to be home tonight. Like I said a couple hours ago, he was in Chillicothe, Missouri. We're in Western Kentucky. I think he's going to be home tonight, and he's not necessarily planning on taking the truck to Matt's. He said that he's got some more issues with the truck. Imagine that. And he didn't feel comfortable taking it to Matt's. So if he goes to Matt's, then he'll end up just taking the Cadillac, and I'll probably go with him. Now, the last day of Matt's is Saturday. This is Thursday. So, depending on if he gets home tonight, and depending on what he ends up doing with the truck, if we go to Matt's, it will be If we go to Matt's, it will be in the Cadillac, and it'll be together if we go. He just doesn't feel right taking his truck because he didn't have a chance to run the rack, whatever that means. Whatever running the rack means. I have no idea what he means by running the rack. He said he could not run the rack when he was there in Tremonton because he said it was too dirty and too filthy, and he just wasn't able to do that. So now he feels like he needs to run the rack on the Freightliner. So it's hard not to be discouraged. It is. It's hard not to be discouraged. I know that we are believers in Jesus Christ. I know we are. And I know that there are many Bible verses that come to mind. I know that Romans 8:28 is one of my lifetime favorites from childhood. Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love the Lord and who are called by, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love the Lord, and who are called according to his purpose. So the key takeaway there is all things work together for good, but for those, it's a promise to believers, those who are called according to his purpose. That is not, Romans 8:28 is not a promise to everybody in the world that all things work together for good. That's not a promise to everybody. That's a promise to believers in Jesus Christ. I also like Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you a hope and a future. I also like Proverbs 3:5 and 6. Trust in the Lord. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. And lean not unto your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. There are so many Bible verses about God's promises. Those are just to highlight some of my favorites about trusting in the Lord and knowing that God's promises are very valid for believers and that he knows his plans for us. But that doesn't mean that I'm not a human being, and that doesn't mean that I'm not discouraged. I am discouraged, but it doesn't mean I don't trust God. It just means that in my humanity, I'm discouraged about everything that's happening. Stephen's going to be very disappointed to know about the cam sensor, and it may be something, obviously, if he can tear apart a 6NZ and put it together again, then he can handle a cam sensor on this. And he's also rebuilt a 3406E 3 years ago. Well, it'll be 3 years in August. 3 years in August, Stephen rebuilt a 3406E on our black 2000 Freightliner Classic. Oh boy. So anyway, I put out a video. I did a live a couple of days ago, and I kind of asked you all as a channel, as subscribers, I asked if I decided to set up a GoFundMe, would our channel family, because that's what you are, would our channel family be willing to help us? I do not know the first thing about setting up a GoFundMe. I have to learn about it. I have to learn what the tax rules are. I have to learn about all the ins and outs of it. I do not know one iota about what's involved in a GoFundMe. So I still have to do my homework on that. But if you missed that live stream that was a couple of days ago, you can go to our tab for live streams, and it's there in the title. If I set up a GoFundMe, would we have the support of our subscribers, our channel family? Our finances, we're not sinking yet. Well, praise the Lord, we're not sinking yet, but we're getting pretty darn low. And just and it's not because of bad choices. Somebody actually went on to our live and said, and you can see it, it's there in the comments, in the live stream comments. Somebody said, well, why would somebody contribute to a GoFundMe for Stephen's poor decisions? They were mocking some of Stephen's decisions about, like, for instance, they were mocking him that he tore down the 6NZ motor only to find out that it was the water pump. And so they were mocking him like, oh yeah, well, you stayed there 8 days and you tore down the 6NZ motor and you had to put it all back together again, all for a water pump. Why would we contribute to your GoFundMe? So, you know, you're going to get comments like that. So anyway, I still have a lot of thinking I have to do about it, and then Stephen's going to need surgery this summer, and then also we have a new complication with AJ about getting him home for home visits this summer. and Stephen has to be home for home visits. The social worker said that it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable for Stephen to be on the road with just me at home and for AJ to do a home visit. He has not been home in 15 months. So he has to be home for these home visits whenever they're going to happen. He has to have surgery coming up. We've got to get that scheduled. He hasn't worked more than a month since Christmas for all the various reasons I've already told you. And it's discouraging. But we also know that we are faithful to the Lord, and we know that He's going to take care of us. And we know that it's going to work out, even though we cannot see ourselves. We cannot see ourselves what the Lord has planned. We cannot see that. So that's part of being a Christian, is you have to go by faith. You have to, by faith, accept that the Lord's got you and He's got you covered. You have to accept that. So it's hard. So, yeah, cam sensor on the engine. So it's not the transmission. Again, Stephen thought that they hadn't done something right on the transmission. But I do think it's awfully suspect, though, that he's had it for several weeks. And how can a business lose your phone number? He lost our phone number, and so it's been sitting here for weeks. And he said, well, I knew you'd come after it at some point. I knew that she would come for your truck at some point. I just assumed that Stephen was on the road. Well, anyway, all right, well, I guess I'm going to wrap it up. I'm not trying to give any type of pity party, song and dance. I'm not crying crocodile tears or alligator tears or whatever you want to call them. That is not the intent of this video. If anything, the intent of this video is to give honor and glory and praise to Jesus. If anything about this video is to say, hey, I know that the Lord's got us on this. I don't know how He's going to work through all of our financial difficulties right now, but I know that He's got us. And we will just have to be active on our part and see what the Lord's going to do for us. So I guess that's it for this one. I'm really hoping that Stephen will be home tonight, and we can give you an update on that. And if we make it to Matt's in the Cadillac by Saturday, even for the tail end, the last day of Matt's, I don't know how that's going to work, but we're not going to be bringing the truck to Matt's. So, all right, well, thank you so much for all your support and for being here for our channel family. And you are a channel family, and we do value and appreciate you. Thank you so much.